Do you find French a difficult language to sing in? Some of the things that make French particularly challenging to sing are also some of the things that make it so beautiful and satisfying. French cuisine has such a variety of subtle flavors. French art has a variety of colors and textures. And the French language has many beautiful vowel sounds and many beautiful consonants that give you a very, very big palette of colors in which to sing. Mastering French singing style begins with an understanding of French diction. There are two important categories of diction that you need to pay attention to if you want to be able to sing in French well that distinguish it from other languages. The first one is that you'll notice that there is a great variety of French vowels, and in particular, a variety of French vowels that use your lips a lot more than you would need to use your lips in other languages. I'm going to read for you the first line of a song by Ernest Chausson called Le Charme. I'm going to read it for you first in English translation, and then I'm going to read it for you as written in the French text, and I want you to notice the difference, what my mouth has to do in English versus the French. Here it is in English. When your smile took me by surprise, I felt a shudder go through my entire being. Now I'm going to read it in French, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing with my lips. Quand ton sourire me surprit, je sentis frémir tout mon être. I'll do that again. Notice how almost every single vowel sound I articulate requires some movement from my lips. Quand ton sourire me surprit, je sentis frémir tout mon être. Working on your lips is important for Italian and English because we have O, we have U, we have other vowels that require the lips. But one of the really interesting things about the French language is that nearly 50% of the vowels you're going to articulate require some work with your lips. So getting that coordination down is very important for French. Some of these vowels may seem a little bit intimidating because we're not used to articulating them. But remember, a lot of these really subtle vowels in French are really just combinations of vowel sounds and mouth movements that you already have in other languages. For example, the sound that you have in the word je, that's a vowel sound that we will often refer to as a schwa. So how do you make this sound that we don't necessarily have in English or some other languages that you'd be singing in? Well, the French schwa is formed mostly by articulating a good e or e vowel, which we have in English all the time, and then just using your lips. I'd like you to practice the French schwa like this. I would like you to sustain on an e, and then just use your lips into an u or o position until you find that you're hearing the same the same schwa that I was just articulating. So it's going to go like this. I'm still forming an e on the inside of my mouth. Everything that I'm doing with my tongue and the inside of my resonators is exactly the same. All I have to do to form that vowel is move my lips into position, and then I get a good schwa. Another French vowel that people find very challenging is the one that goes U, as in surpris. But U is really very similar to our E vowel. Again, by moving the lips in, I can get that U. So try doing it this way. Sustain on E, and then just move your lips in and out of that round position, and see if you can get that good U vowel that's so important for expression in French. That vowel sound might be a little bit too balanced in favor of the E and not as much of that sort of U that's more like an U. But most people, it's better if you err in the direction of having a little bit too much bright E in it rather than just having it be a plain old U, which is not the right vowel for a word like surpris. The other category of diction that's very, very important when you're singing in French, that distinguishes it from a lot of other languages, is that in French, the consonants are very, very short, very clear, and they come very, very late. I'm going to read this first phrase of Le Charme for you again, and notice how quickly I go through the consonants. Quand ton sourire me surprit, je sentis frémir tout mon être. Now, Listen to the difference if I were to form these consonants and give them the amount of time that they would have in English or in German, and it's going to sound very different. See if you can hear the difference. Quand ton sourire me surprit, je sentis frémir tout mon être. I'm spending a little bit more time on the consonants, and if you're used to hearing good singing or speaking in French, then it just sounds wrong. To sing well in French, you want to have your consonants happen very, very late, very clearly, and spend as little time on them as possible. French singing diction can be very challenging, so we'd love to give you a hand with it. Upload yourself reciting a poem or singing a song, and we'll give you some feedback.